Warmest greetings on behalf of the ranchers at Rainbow Acres. I'm Gary Wagner, President and CEO.
And I'm Chris Roush, Vice President of Advancement here at Rainbow.
Thank you for your faithful support for this unique ministry with adults with developmental disabilities. There really is no place on earth like Rainbow Acres. We would like to take a few minutes of your time to share with you some of the exciting plans we have for Rainbow Acres and the future.
For nearly 4 decades, Rainbow Acres has been a pioneer in ministering to adults with developmental disabilities. Built on the belief that all of us are created in God's image and have unique gifts and abilities, Rainbow has sought to provide a Christian home where all our residents are treated with unconditional love, dignity, and respect. Here at Rainbow, every rancher has the opportunity to learn, grow, and contribute as a valued member of our community. Several core values provide the cornerstones for the ministry here. First, in God's love, every rancher is important. Every rancher matters. Second, every rancher wants to be part of a community and to have a purpose. So here at Rainbow, every rancher has a job. Third, each of us is created with gifts and abilities that need to be discovered and nurtured. We can all learn and grow despite any disabilities we might need to overcome. At Rainbow, every rancher has a chance to grow in their independence and to master new challenges.
And Stephanie was doing very well and continued to thrive and has made strides in areas of even physical health and obviously emotional maturity and growth that I would have never expected. I mean, it's just been beyond what we could have asked for or prayed for or hoped for.
And I think what was important to the family now is that it's a sense of community. You know, Jeff talks about this is home. I remember when the first couple of years when he'd come home for Christmas, he wanted to stay. He wanted to stay at home. And now, this is home. And he has his friends here. And when you come here, you realize nobody has a disability here. Everybody is home. This is a real community.
God calls us to care for our brothers and sisters in need. Rainbow Acres is home to ranchers from all walks of life and throughout the United States. At Rainbow, we are keenly aware of the need to provide opportunities for those least able to afford the wonderful services available here. We need to offer peace of mind for both our ranchers and for their families. We have promised them a home here at Rainbow.
You know, I think it's important when you're talking to potential supporters, and especially if they're Christians, that they know that the ranchers are the poorest of the poor. And I think people need to know that, because we are commanded to take care of those people. For me, this is as bottom line as it gets in terms of living out faith, learning to love your neighbor as yourself.
If I weren't living here, I would probably be out on the street somewhere, trying to find a place to live.
That if I would have never came to Rainbow, I would have probably lived in a worse place than where I'm living now.
And when I came to Rainbow, I realized that I had a lot of friends. I like the support and the love and knowing that I'm safe and I don't have to be somebody I'm not.
I love Rainbow Acres because of what I see happening here with the ranchers. I am constantly in a state of amazement at the self-esteem that the ranchers gain through the programs, through the caring staff, through the love and compassion that is here. I also think that it needs to be said that Gary Wagner has, and the staff, his executive staff, have done this, have carried out this evolution with an absolute dogged determination to be fiscally responsible. And in this day's economy, that's a mouthful.
We are now at a critical point in our history. The past few years of economic uncertainty have brought several realities to the forefront. as church mission dollars remained in local communities to fill food banks, support homeless shelters, and assist those falling into poverty in the surrounding neighborhoods, mission giving to organizations like Rainbow declined. At the same time, families who had carefully planned for the long-term care of their loved ones at Rainbow saw the values of their estates and the trust they worked so hard to build shrink dramatically during the recession. As a result, the number of rancher families requesting financial aid has more than doubled. Finally, rising costs have impacted nearly every area of our ministry, including the ability to attract and retain quality staff, one of the greatest assets in providing a safe and loving home for our ranchers.
That was one of our questions, is what happens, and we're going to do everything in our power to make provision for him to stay here. But what if we fail to do that adequately and we pass on and there's no family infrastructure to take care of that, and you know, Gary just said to us, he will never ever have to leave here if he doesn't want to. We will make sure, you know, we'll find a way to take care of him.
All of these concerns led the board and staff at Rainbow to one clear conclusion: we have promises to keep. Rainbow has made promises to our ranchers that this is their home. We have promised them they don't have to worry. They're a part of this community that loves them. Although many of our ranchers have outlived their families, we have committed to be their family and to make certain they live in homes with heart and have lives of purpose. Providing a life of purpose for ranchers represents a substantial financial commitment for families. In fact, it's been likened to sending your child to college, but instead of those costs ending in 4 or 5 years, those costs continue for life. The commitments made at Rainbow are not for the short term, but rather for the long haul. It's imperative that Rainbow Acres, through its circle of friends and supporters, ensure that a firm financial foundation is in place. This will provide the kind of stability necessary to withstand the ebb and flow of future economic storms.
You know, what I think the most critical need financially for Rainbow is actually a steady stream of income. Over the last couple years, over the last decade or so, we've been very, very fortunate to get individual and church donations. However, they're not sustainable, and you can't always expect them. And so what's really important for us is to get a good size endowment that will secure financially the future of Rainbow Acres.
To meet this challenge, we have launched the Keeping the Promises capital campaign. This campaign will provide the resources necessary for keeping our pledge to our ranchers and to their families. Their home here at Rainbow will be secure long into the future.
And we're committed that once they're here, we're going to take care of them. And so the only way that's possible is when we reach out and create an endowment that makes a difference in a way that we can support those whose loved ones pass on. Maybe their brothers and sisters aren't capable, or they're the only member. We have some who they're the only living member of their close family left.
The Keeping the Promises capital campaign has 4 primary objectives. First, a successful campaign will build a strong endowment. These endowment funds will be permanently invested to provide interest income to support the ministry at Rainbow. As Rainbow Acres approaches 40 years of service to adults with developmental disabilities, it is time to begin to grow an endowment sufficient enough to ensure rancher needs are met, regardless of future economic conditions. Endowment funds can provide for rancher scholarships, maintenance of rancher homes, core programs, enrichment activities, and for the maintenance needs of the ranch. Second, the need to meet the current funding gap created during the recession while growing endowment is critical. A successful campaign will provide bridge the gap funding for a period of 5 years until sufficient endowment funding is established. Third, Rainbow has had tremendous success over the past 15 years building new homes and facilities for the ranchers. One of the remaining capital needs is providing adequate on-site housing for staff. Facilities like Rainbow Acres are required by license to have a manager and other key personnel on site. Rainbow has provided several trailer homes for that purpose. They've served us well, but with many of those homes now reaching 30 to 40 years old, they've become a maintenance concern. Replacing them with traditional built homes will not only provide a more cost-effective solution in the long run, it will also provide dedicated staff with the kind of home our ministry can be proud of. Finally, while establishing a solid endowment and meeting current funding needs through outright gifts is the primary goal of this campaign, continuing to grow a truly transformative endowment is a long-term endeavor. To that end, we would ask our donors to consider including Rainbow Acres in their estate plans.
I have a living trust as an example. Everybody may not understand what that is, but it's something anybody can do. And I have a certain percent of my estate set aside for Rainbow Acres. Others have a simple will, where maybe they have like 1% or 5% designated, or sometimes a dollar amount, but most often a percent designated to Rainbow Acres. But it can be done through a variety of plan-giving concepts or estate-giving concepts. And if people are interested, we have staff who could talk to them and help them understand what could be done.
And I know that as a parent, and as I have heard other parents share and reflect, of course, one of our concerns is for the longevity of Rainbow, that it continue on. I mean, as a parent, one of the reasons that you are relieved to find a place like Rainbow is because you know that in most cases, Lord willing, that you are going to precede your child in passing. And then the question, okay, what's going to happen to my child when I am gone? And so the interest is for Rainbow, as long as the Lord wills and tarries, that Rainbow be here to meet the needs of the ranchers.
As you can see, Rainbow Acres is a remarkable place for adults with developmental disabilities.
A successful capital campaign will be life-changing for this ministry and the ranchers who call Rainbow home.
Would you prayerfully consider joining us in this great cause by making a stretch gift or a pledge to Keeping the Promises Capital Campaign? The ranchers and I will be deeply grateful. Thank you.